John was an experienced hiker who loved to explore the wilderness. He had been on many long hikes before, but this time he decided to take a different route through the dense woods. It was a path less traveled, and John felt the thrill of the unknown as he set off. However, it wasn't long before John realized he had made a mistake. The trail was unmarked and he quickly lost his sense of direction. The dense trees around him seemed to loom closer and closer, their twisted branches reaching out like gnarled fingers. As the hours passed, John became increasingly disoriented. He couldn't tell if he was going in circles or if he was getting closer to civilization. His water and food supplies were running low, and he was becoming increasingly desperate. It was then that John began to hear strange noises in the woods. He could hear the sound of something stalking him, following him through the underbrush. He tried to brush it off, telling himself it was just his imagination, but the feeling of being watched would not go away. As the days passed, John's desperation turned to despair. He was lost, alone, and running out of options. He began to feel like something was changing within him, as if he was becoming something else entirely. One night, as he huddled in his makeshift shelter, he heard a voice outside. It was a voice he did not recognize, but it called to him, promising him a way out of the woods. John could feel himself being drawn to the voice, as if it was his only hope of survival. Without thinking, John stumbled out into the darkness, following the voice deeper into the woods. As he went, he felt his body changing, becoming more animalistic. His senses were heightened, his muscles stronger, and he felt a strange power coursing through his veins. Finally, John emerged from the woods, transformed into a skinwalker. He could hear the sound of civilization in the distance, and he knew that he had to get there before he lost himself entirely. But as he stepped out into the open, he saw a group of hikers in the distance. He could smell their fear, and his hunger grew. John knew that he was no longer human but a creature of the woods, and he was consumed by the urge to hunt and feed. As he approached the hikers, John could feel himself losing control. His transformation had taken over completely, and he was no longer in control of his own actions. He knew that he was a danger to himself and others, but he could do nothing to stop it. John fed upon hikers and stories began circulating in nearby towns. Soon nobody would dare to hike in the woods anymore.